Hey and welcome to Beyond the Pouch, a podcast series brought to you by Pelican, Respond and Eakin, where your hosts Rachel and Louise dive into the world of ostomy through open and honest conversations, including the lives of many inspirational ostomates, so you can get to know them beyond the pouch.
Welcome back for another episode of Beyond the Pouch. If you haven't already listened to the previous episodes, head over to YouTube and Spotify to give us a listen and a watch. So today we're very excited to have someone for World Ostomy Day that is actually more of a friend than anything else.
Oh,
not just
that's
a guest.
so kind of you. Stop it.
Actual genuine friend in Ant. We're going to discuss your greatest moments with a stoma. So thank you for joining us.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Honestly, it's been, such a privilege, not just being here, but listening to you guys talk to so many great people.
Aww.
Hearing your inspiring stories, hearing other people's inspiring stories.
Well, you're part of
It's
that,
great.
and we've been working with you for quite a while now. We've built a professional relationship.
We have built
for
a professional
while.
It's not
relationship.
the first podcast I've done with you.
No, it's not. No, it isn't. It isn't.
Well, you two should be find this
Back in the Zoom days.
Let's get about.
But yeah, you've got a unique story yourself, and you've got quite a big presence online. You do a lot for raising awareness, so it'd be good to...
Oh, you're making me go red, honestly. I could be here all day. I love this. No,
We just
stop
need
it.
this done
I need
to
to
us.
deflate my ego, not inflate it.
So, let us know about your diagnosis. Where do we begin?
So, cast your minds back to 2008 when people mainly used Facebook.
Oh.
Instagram was in its infancy.
Oh.
TikTok was just the noise the clock made in the corner. And I was at university in Canterbury. Just started. Got into Freshers Week. And for anyone who doesn't know what Freshers Week is, it's supposed to be a week of mingling and making new friends in a new environment. And the reality is...
It's a big old Beano.
It's a big drinking, partying week,
Party.
non-stop.
Yeah.
So if there are any mums and dads who are listening, whose students have gone to uni and gone, oh, it's only quiet. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. It's a
That's
complete
a big
lie.
fat lie. And you'll never know what actually happens.
Yeah, exactly. They'll tell you what I want to tell you. But after first couple of weeks of uni, everything was all right, and then just started getting really, really bad diarrhea, and I assumed it's just too much drinking. Too many late nights, too many kebabs.
Yeah.
And then eating the food again in the morning and then going to your lectures. So I went to the on-site pharmacist and doctors, told them everything. Here's some Imodium. That should work. Did that for a couple of weeks. Nothing really changed. Went back and they said, okay, let's start doing some tests. And the tests they're great fun, aren't they? Here is a small cardboard box that we need to take a sample from. Can you do this, please?
Yeah.
And you're like, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'll speak freely. It's like, how am I going to actually get the sample? Like, I just don't get it. So
yeah, they never offer a suggestion,
No.
do they? They kind of give you the tools and say,
scoop.
rent free.
Here's the
Do
blue
it.
thing. Scoop. Well, right, fine.
I have loads of those in my medicine drawer. The last time I had a UTI, I had to drop in a urine sample, so I used the pot that I normally do my fecal gel protecting and
God.
dropped it into a GP.
Oh, lovely.
Oh, gosh.
I mean, aren't they throwaway? Single use?
Yeah, but I've
Shouldn't
got...
be recyclable, no.
Well, technically they're plastics, they could be.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
But did all that. Everything comes back as normal, which is great. It's exactly what you want to hear. And you literally sit there and you sort of plead with the doctors going, I'm passing blood out of my bum. I don't understand how that's normal. And they go, well, everything's in normal range.
All right.
So then it was a good sort of, about 6 months of just hoping for the best, trying everything under the sun.
How were you dealing with university in that time?
To be honest, I just sort of, I was just sort of speaking to people about it, being like, I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
Sorry. And then you have to run out of lectures or you have to, go wherever, just try and locate where the nearest toilets are.
And it's quite important time. You're in new social circumstances. That is not the time you want to be dealing with such symptoms, is it?
No, not at all.
Do you feel, though, it's easier as a man to say, I'm popping to the toilet than what it is maybe for the female counterpart? Maybe
I
with
don't know.
bloke banter?
Yeah. I don't know.
I've never said, I'm going to go and, poo for like 25 minutes, then come back and then go again. I just need to go to the loo. But I don't really know, to be fair.
Yeah.
But it was more, when I went home after Christmas, when I told my parents all about it. And I said to my dad and my mum, like, I'm going to the toilet like 8 times a day. And my dad was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, no, Dad, this is what I'm doing. And he was like, oh, right. Okay. Go and let's see what we can do. Maybe we could go private. So booked in a consultation with a very nice old doctor. Really friendly, really, really kind. Because obviously when you go, like the first time you speak to a doctor about what's going on, you feel embarrassed, nervous, and obviously they're going to be, polite, professional, etc. But he was like, yeah, it's absolutely fine. This is my specialty. Don't worry, we'll get you all sorted. Tell me what's going on. Great. I'll tell you what, tomorrow we'll book you a colonoscopy in, which will be this sort of scope, do this, and this. You'll have to drink all the prep. Yeah. Which is wonderful. Oh, it's awful. Honestly, I wouldn't wish that on anyone. And then, I remember it quite well because I had to explain to my mate. My mum and dad were working, I wasn't driving. So I said to my mate, I need to can you take me to the hospital? And he was like, yeah, I can do. Why? And I was like, well, long story short, I'm pooing all the time. I'm now going to get a test to actually see what's happening. So do you mind taking me? He was like, yeah, it's fine. It's like, I'm going to be on laxatives. So you're going to have to drive quickly. Yeah. If you get stopped by police, it's fine. It's an emergency, or I'll just, it'll just go everywhere, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. And I've got into, they show you into your room in a private suite, which is really nice, whatever. I went into the toilet as the world is falling out of my bum. The doctor walks in and he's like, you're not Anthony. And my mate's like, no, he's in there. And I'm like, hello.
I'm sorry.
So
you couldn't make it up, could you?
Oh, no.
But the relief.
Oh, well, yes. Yeah.
Euphoric, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that in itself is a...
Oh, the afterburn's not great, though. I'm not going to lie to you.
Can you remember which one it was? Because the Citrafleet has a rather long-lasting after effect.
I can't. It was lemony.
What's that?
I just remember it being lemony.
There's like over here. There's like 3 different brands of the expelling laxatives to clear the bowels. Yeah. You got Movie Prep. You've got Citrafleet, and there's another one. Most of them stopped doing the Citrafleet because that stuff's brutal.
It might have been that, I don't know.
Because it's both ends with that one. That clears you up both top and bottom.
But yeah, it was. But I was diagnosed in a day, and then he said, "Here you go. You've got ulcerative colitis. This is what it looks like. Here's your camp. We'll send you all the footage if you want it." And when you're like 18, 19, you're like, "Great. So what's that?" I have no idea. Yeah. And it's like, here you go. So we're going to put you on some steroids. We're going to put you on some very low level sort of medication like mesalazine family stuff. And then you should be right as rain.
Oh, what a claim.
Well, when you're 19, I've got to be honest, like no one explained to me what this was. No one sort of, obviously when I was there, they were explaining it, but you just take it on board like, yeah, cool. So,
well, you're grateful for a word for it and being validated, aren't you, for starters, because you were told... Just take Imodium, nothing's wrong with you, which is horrendous. Yeah. And then you just sort of, you sort of go, okay, great. And then you don't think long term because you're not thinking long term. No, you're 19. No. Do you know what I mean? No.
You tend to stick your head in the sand at that age as well.
Well, I was very open with it because I went to, the really good thing was with my university, I went to speak to them about it and they said, you're classed as disabled. So we're going to offer you all of this support. So you can come and speak to a therapist. We can, you can you can do university at home. You can have a chair, new laptop, all these sorts of bits and pieces. I was like, yeah, okay. If that's what's available, I'll have it. So they really laid it on. And I was like, this is great. But I felt a bit like a fraud because I look young and healthy. So you keep calling me young man, it's very kind of you. So I'll buy a drink after, it's fine. But you're sort of there going, well, I'm now in this sort of this bracket, and there's people that are probably suffering much more than I am. Yeah.
But there's always going to be someone that's worse off, isn't there? You can't think like that. But I get what you mean. Like, then again, they're hidden illnesses for a reason, aren't they? I mean, I don't think you would know anything was wrong with us three if someone walked past today. No. You
other than chatting to you, we'd understand after that. But yeah.
What about mental? We're on about physical, Anthony.
I'm joking. I'm allowed to do this because we're friends.
We are. We're friends.
Podcast friends.
So, when did you get your ostomy surgery then?
February of 2020. I think it's February 12th or February 13th. But getting my stoma was more of I elected to do it. And I know you guys have spoken about this a lot. Like some people either have it emergency, they get elected, or etc. I had so many failed medical treatments beforehand of going into sort of 3 or 4 months worth of remission, and then it just all going back downhill. And you're like, right, what do I do now? And they go, we'll put you on this one, and then more blood tests, make sure everything's okay. Oh, it's not working, try again. I turned around to my consultant and said, can we just cut it out now? I've had enough of this.
Yeah.
But he did say always, like, first thing, you're in the driving seat. It's up to you.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, yes, if you want to elect to do it, it's fine. But what you'll have to understand is your class is healthy. There are people that are going to have bowel surgeries who are very unhealthy, who will automatically go to the top. So if you're cancer patients, you're straight in. If you're elderly, you're going to be above me. So I think my initial surgery was booked, 10 months beforehand, and it was just put back every single month. And that was harder to deal with because it's, again, you get so close to, right, I can now start this journey, and then it's push back, then push back, then push back, then push back. But yeah, had it in February, just before lockdown.
I remember actually, because I had mine in the June of that year. And when I started going on social media and trying to see adults with it, because I was only taking content with the view of being a parent to a little ostomy, not having one myself. And I remember seeing your content and you recently having surgery, and I remember straight away.
And you were like, what's this idiot doing? Put a shirt on.
No, because yours went viral, didn't it? Because
you literally went,
did I? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think I did.
But I think the thing with your content is there's not many men out there that talk about their bodies, talk about the fashion side of having an ostomy. There aren't, are they really? Compared to females, with the amount of females that talk about their clothes and talk about how they feel in their own skin, show some skin and all that. The ratio of females doing it to men is so different. So,
I think like even when I look at my profile and bits, it shows you who visits your page and whatever, and how many people are in the community. I think it's like 70% female that are openly discussing it. A lot of men will do it, but it's like very quietly. And there's a few that will, a bit like myself, will talk much more openly and things. But it's coming up. There are a lot of people that are coming up with it, and that's
you
good.
were filling that gap, weren't you?
A little bit, I guess.
No, you do a cracking job.
How did you manage when everything did go viral? Because didn't it get picked up by the BBC?
So no, the BBC actually, that all happened pre-surgery. So I was with one of my friends who was also an IBD patient who was working within the BBC at the time, that said, I'd like to do a piece on your journey. And it was supposed to be all in person, but then because COVID hit, it was like, you're going to have to film it all on your mobile in hospital, which was really interesting. I really enjoyed it, but I wanted to show like the actual raw part of it, because lots of people may elect for surgery and go, great, cool. The doctors have told me I'm going to be out in 4 or 5 days. You're really healthy, you're fit, you'll walk this and then you'll be out the door. So I had my surgery, and then a lady in the ward had the surgery like literally the day after. She was about 80. She went home after 4 days, and I was still stuck there.
How can they say that? They don't know what's going to happen.
Well, exactly. But it was, I got, was it Ileost?
Oh, good old post-op Ileost.
Honestly. Fell asleep, and I was like, it's not working. And then it was, right, here's your NG tube.
No.
We're just going to have to, monitor this for ages. I know you guys were talking about NG tubes on the last pod. I know the size has to be 14. I can take this. It sounds very odd. I do apologise. I could take it like a champ. I just go on, put it in, swallow, done.
No,
and everyone else because I've had so many that are too big. I was like, that's not going anywhere, love. Like, that's it.
The fact that you managed to champ that awake, I salute you, because
well, when you have it so many times, you're like, come on.
That's the one thing I can't deal with. I can deal with anything, but the amount of times I've had an NG tube in, I hate them. And the last time I had ileus, they was like, right, you need an NG tube, because my bowel was asleep for like 10 days.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, just let it pass. It'll pass. It will happen.
Yeah.
It will wake up. But you are not. If you want me to have that, you're going to have to take me back down and knock me out, put it through, let me wake up.
Yeah.
Because I think when you don't have control, and it's something that is out of your hands, I think that has quite a detrimental effect on your mental health.
100%.
Especially if you're having, obviously, the stoma surgery to make you feel better.
Yeah.
And then you kind of do feel better for the first day or two when you wake up until you realise that, everything I'm bringing up is green. And
yeah, that's a funny colour. What's that?
That's a bit weird.
Why is it that big? I'm sure it's supposed to be small.
Why is my stoma going black?
Yeah.
That's because that's the other thing that they don't tell you about post-op ileus. Your stoma starts to, not necrotic, but kind of starts to die. So it kind of goes,
healthy.
yes, because it's not getting enough supply of anything because the bowel's not moving. It does start to go black and it does slough you off. And then you've got them coming doing the rounds every day going, oh, well, if this doesn't improve, we're going to have to take you back down to theatre and redo your stoma.
Yeah.
It's quite
But again,
scary.
were you guys warned of that possible thing post-op? Because I wasn't.
I was.
It's happened with every
Again,
surgery.
it's postcode lottery, isn't it? Because, it
Yes,
is.
you are right. You're so
One thing-
right.
Yeah, it is. What one person's told could happen after another person isn't. It's madness.
I think, just on those topics, like when I had all that sort of pre-op stuff, because I had so many surgeries moved back, I had the same conversation like 2 or 3 times. So I was like, I know what's going to happen, And then when I finally had like, right, here's your pre-op, then we're going to have the operation, it was much sort of closer. So I kind of understood it. But yeah, I was in post the ileus part, I was there for 19 days. Oh. And a lot of that was just...
And how many days did they say you were going to be in for?
Like 3 or 4. Yeah. But
So that 80-year-old was skipping down the road while you were lying
honestly,
there?
Yeah. I started running a marathon.
She was out clubbing, wasn't she? Living the best life while you were stuck.
Swinging her bag around like this. But yeah, no, I think that was the hardest bit because you know, no one could visit you because it was COVID. You've got to stay in your own bed. You can't really do anything. And I was on nil by mouth for like 3 or 4 days at a time. And it's like, right, now we're going to try sips and then we're going to try this. Oh, it's not working. Right. End your tube back in, start the process again. And, I used to say that, can I go for a walk? I'm so bored. I have to get out of here. But weirdly, I'd watch videos of like cooking programs and stuff like this.
Oh God, why would you do that to yourself?
Everyone said, why are you doing this? It's like, because when I get out of here, I'm going to have like the most amazing dinner ever. And this is my dream. That's my end goal.
Fair, you do, so anyone that follows Ant, you do post a fair bit of food content. You and your fiance go to some banging restaurants and you do share some pucker food and you cook it as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's very...
She's landed an absolute keeper
She
here.
really has. Does she have any idea?
I tell her every day. No, I don't.
Oh my gosh, you need to tell us about your fiance. So your engagement. How
God.
dreamy was that?
Oh,
Not that I'm dropping
I'll
hints.
go red. No, it was good. It was really good fun.
Because I think you shared stuff about, finding someone that accepted you for you and your own thoughts on all that, which is such a, we could talk about that topic of finding love with a bag for hours.
I think I remember you saying that you guys had only been going out for a couple of weeks when you had your surgery.
Oh, we only went on a couple of dates.
Yeah.
So it was literally like...
What a
we met
woman.
up twice.
Let's just take a moment to appreciate this
Well done.
woman.
Thanks, Jessica.
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, dear. She'll go bright red listening to this. That'd be great.
No one could see her do it, so it's fine.
No,
Go
exactly.
red.
Yeah, I just met up with her literally like... this isn't going to go anywhere. I just want to go on a date with somebody, and then I'm having surgery in a couple of weeks. So
did you
it's
tell
fun.
her in that first date?
I told her
How
all
far
of it.
in? What did you tell her first? You had 3 legs, or you were going to have stoma surgery? Which one did you go with first?
No, it was more just. I think I told her even early on, like, because a lot of people, and this is the only advice I give to a lot of people in this space that are looking to date. I found it easier saying that these are all the things that I'm doing in my life, and this is the elephant in the room. I'm going to say it now, so I can then filter through all the people I don't want to then commit any energy to or time with. So I thought I'll just do that. And she was like, yeah, cool. What is it? And I was like, this is what's going to happen. I remember after surgery, we met up, and that was when I was very much like, I look so different.
Oh,
like I'd lost a lot of weight. I think I lost like 2 kilo in hospital. I obviously had a new bag, and I remember being like, so this is it. And she was like, oh, it's really cool.
Oh.
So yeah, no, it was good. It was really good. So yeah, and then, the engagement, that was fun.
How does she? So how is she with like when you have your prolapses and things like that? What's she like?
Oh, so Aunt, stop being so dramatic. Just get up, will you? No, she's not.
That's what you want, isn't it? That's
It's all me with you. God.
Did you want to explain what a prolapse is? Because we're
Yes.
seeing it now more on Instagram with other ostomates that have had it.
Yeah.
We see, I know Rachel Jury, who literally has got the biggest prolapse ever. And I've watched her actually physically put it back in.
Did she
And
share that on there?
She shared it on a YouTube video.
Wow, that's
with the sugar and the ice and the gloves.
Yes. Yeah. So for people who don't know, prolapse basically is your small intestine is for an ileostomy. Obviously sits outside your abdominal wall, and all that really happens is for me, I've kind of worked out what happens is my stoma will try and just push something through. Usually it's very, very thick output, and then it just pushes too hard, and the stoma sort of telescopes out more.
Yeah.
So it just falls out.
And quite a considerable amount, isn't it?
Yes, so it happened first St. Patrick's Day a couple of years ago. I remember standing there going like, I've got like a partial blockage coming on. I can just feel it. And like you guys will know, like when you get a blockage, you're like, I just don't feel very comfortable.
Yeah.
And then it passed. I was like, cool. All the contents come out my bag. Excellent. Went to the toilet. I was like, cool. I'll carry on with my evening. And then was like, my bag's filled up immediately. Like, that's not right. And then was feeling around with it. And I was like,
That's not
that's not normal. Right, I'm going to go to the toilet. And went to the toilet. And when I went to look at my bag, but most of my gut was in my bag.
How did you feel in that moment? How did you?
Not gonna lie to you, it's like I can't go out the back end, because I was like, right, I'm so petrified of this. This is frightening.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
You don't expect to see that.
It was honestly, I was just
God.
like, I don't know what to do. I'm in central London. I need to go home.
Is this the time when you went to meet some fellow ostomates, or was that another time?
No, that was another time.
And that
happened again.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, so I did initially think it must be down to me going out and and having alcohol, because I was drinking on St. Patrick's Day. I wasn't drinking a lot. Met up with other people, same thing. And I was like, maybe it's alcohol then. I'll cut back on the alcohol. I've done it where I've just been standing still and gone, why does it come out?
Yeah.
All you do, it's nothing to be worried about. Most of the time, if you lie down, it'll go back in on its own.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can put sugar on it, which is fine. I've done that.
So when you say put sugar on it, for those that don't know, what we're talking, a kilogram bag? What we're talking?
No. Just like I literally got a couple of spoonfuls of sugar and just put it round it and said that'll help. Cold compresses or cold water, get in the shower, that'll help. To be honest though, if you lie down, that's going to do most of it.
Intestine, or is
I've kind of done it now just with my bag, and I'll just hold my bag up and it'll go back in on its own.
Okay.
Okay. But yeah, most people take it off. That may be quite shocking for some people, because my stoma is normally that big, and then it's like
have you?
I know some people have obviously said, because I know a couple of women that have got prolapses, obviously not big ones, but smaller, normally associated with people with muscular dystrophy, ehlers-Danlos, because it's to do with the muscles, because the muscles obviously is to hold it in place. If the muscles waste and whereas it's not holding it in, so you're more likely to prolapse. But some have said it's quite painful. Others have said that they don't even notice it.
Yeah.
The more painful part is it going back in, and
Can you feel it when it goes back in?
No, to be honest though, you'll know when your stoma's moving, when it's trying to pass something out, it just kind of feels like that. So I don't get any pain with it. The reason I think I have it is because after my first surgery, they fashioned the hole too tight. And they said, right, come back in 12 weeks later, because I couldn't even have soup without getting blockages. And I was like, I'm getting blockages all the time. It's ridiculous. So they made the hole ever so slightly bigger. And I remember the consultant at the time saying, we can't change it to make it any bigger because you will probably prolapse. But he said, everything's fine at the moment, so don't worry about it. And I kind of know, I'd assume that's probably why it is. So I'm not really worried about it. And it goes back in. So at the moment, touch wood, which I can't do, otherwise I'm going to ruin the podcast. But yes, that would be the reasons why.
Do you find it quite an inconvenience?
Do you know what? Yes and no. The inconvenience is I need to lie down, and I need to do it now because I'm not waiting 2 and a bit hours. I need to find somewhere to lie down, so I'll just lie down. And when I went up with met when the meet up with people, fortunately I was with loads of ostomates.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to have it happen,
Yeah, I know. And I was like, it's the first time I met Philip. It was the first time I met Philippa and Amy and a few other people. And I was like, sorry guys, I'm just going to lie down on this bench. Just excuse me one sec.
You should have just moved everything off the table and laid down in the middle.
I just laid down.
Yeah.
I was like, you carry on. And then it went back in and I was fine. And then we carried on the evening. But it's,
What has your surgeon advised with regards to the prolapse? What discussions have you had?
To be honest, I haven't. I've spoken to my stoma nurses and they said, is it out at the moment? No, it's back in. Okay. If there are any issues, it keeps carrying on, then let us know. I've gone into A&E, seen obviously the triage doctors and people, and even they've just said, well, if it's back in now, then it's going to happen from time to time. Yeah. If it goes really dark in colour, that's when you need to seriously come back in. As you were saying, it'll go necrotic, it's losing oxygen and rich blood supply. But they were like, it's just going to happen. And I've done a few posts about it, and a lot of people have said, mine does it every day. Mine will do it every day. Some people will have it and it's permanently out and it won't go back in. Yeah. So it's kind of a lottery. I don't mean to say this to sort of, perturb anyone or steer them away from surgery. But it's just one of those things, isn't it? Yeah. Like, I'm not being funny. We've all had to go through so many bits of everything. It's just another thing you're going to have to deal with. It's
the thing that you have to deal with to outweigh
exactly
what you were feeling before.
So I think that the advice normally with regards to the surgeons is that if it's prolapsed once, even if they do surgery again,
there's no guarantee.
There's no guarantee that it won't prolapse again. And it's kind of like between a hard rock and a brick wall with regards to it. And, I know someone that's had like 4 prolapse repairs, and every time they've had the prolapse repair, the prolapse has got worse, it's come out further.
Yeah.
Because there's something to do with basically the bowel telescopes out.
Yeah. So it goes, it just telescopes out, and then that's why it will come back in and retract to kind of its normal thing, because it's the end.
It kind of turns itself inside
out. Kind of goes like that way, if that makes sense.
It telescopes out, so it's not your intestine pushing out and through. It's basically telescoping itself back out.
Because I had it 3 times in one day. Yeah, so that was fun.
What were you doing that day?
Did a park run, so did that, and then got to the end and went, okay, I'll lie down. Fortunately, I finished, and then Jessica was also doing the park run. I was like, I've got 15, 20 minutes to lie down and sort this out.
You've just
and it did. It's fine. I do it every week on Instagram anyway, it's fine.
Yeah, she took another 3 minutes, and then she came along.
She breezed past me over the finish line. She ducked it like that. Get the time in. But yeah, so laid down, did that. Savage. Then we went to a barbecue. Then I came home, it happened again. Then we went to a barbecue and it happened again. And I was like, this is getting really silly. So what I thought it was, and I think this has kind of helped, was I think I was cutting my ring.
Too small.
Maybe a bit too small.
Yeah.
So assumed, right, that's going to cause, in theory, this could be completely, I mean, if there's any medical experts or doctors to, please comment and say, no, you're wrong, because I'd love to know the ins and outs of this. Yeah. But just assumed, if you're creating a smaller hole, that's going to create more pressure for your stoma to sit in.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's not going to like it, and it's going to go, I don't like it, and try and push out slightly.
Yeah.
So I've just started cutting my ring a lot more larger, and using some rings to now go round my stoma as well to protect the skin. And that's been pretty much perfect so far. Again, touch wood.
Are you flat or convex?
Flat.
Hey, what are you?
Convex.
Yeah, convex. Are you firm or soft? Soft. Oh, I'm firm.
I don't know, it's weird because...
Give us some more drinks, I might be firm.
Did they ever try you on a convex?
Well, no, because mine sticks out quite a lot anyway. So there's no need for a convex, is what they've said to me, so yeah.
Obviously, you've got ulcerative colitis, so you've had several stoma surgeries. Have you thought about a reversal and a J pouch?
No, I don't want it.
Did they form a J pouch?
No, they just cut it, left my rectum in, and said, we'll just sew it up. Ball's in your court, whatever you want to do.
And if you've got what type of ileostomy have you got?
End, I think it is, or what? Yeah, whatever.
You got one hole, not 2.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
So.
So you've had the Barbie butt.
No, I haven't had the Barbie butt. I've still got my rectum.
Yeah.
So that area still works. If I want to reconnect it, they can do. But my doctor said, I think the term's up to subcolectomy is what I've had, and he's just said, if you want to get it reversed, you can do. Yeah. But if you're happy with it and life's good, why change it? And I've spoken to so many people that have had reversals and then gone, life was easier with a bag because it was a bit more manageable. Without the bag, it was, I'm still going 6 or 7 times a day. I'm still having to run and I'm not really enjoying myself. So I've kind of gone...
You're very active, aren't you? I mean, you ran a marathon.
I did, yes. Yeah.
And then I suppose the other issue that you've got is if you do have a reversal is that it's not going to be the way it used to be because you've only got your small bowel, not your large bowel. So
So everything will go through just as quickly, you know. And then again, I don't know, for me, I reckon I probably still have maybe a little bit of colitis in my rectum because that's where it was mainly inflamed and all that sort of, you know, sigmoid.
Do you suffer from any rectal pain or anything?
No, I get phantom, what's it called? Phantom poops, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
Stuff like that. That's great fun.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I really need to go to the toilet, but nothing's going to come out.
Do you just, I know with me, I just sit there and
chill out.
let the good times roll.
And
hope it passes.
Yeah, it's very funny. Honestly, there's times where I say to Jessica, I'm like, I've got to go for a sit down poop, and she looks at me like,
yeah, like what?
What? But everyone says to you, right? And this is a guy thing, so I'm going to, you know, some ladies may do it as well, but a lot of men will go to the toilet, go for a number 2, and then they're for like 45 minutes scrolling on TikTok and stuff like that.
Anyone that lives with a bloke will know that's
exactly.
Standard. Yeah,
so I don't really get that until every now and again.
Yeah.
They're like, I'm like, oh, that's 45 minutes of free scrolling now.
Yeah. Like I feel like people get a lot done when they're sat on the toilet that we don't get the benefits of having that time. If anything, I would just, what we should do is start going in, sitting on the toilet. We don't need the seat up because we ain't exiting anything. Just chill. Get some emails done.
That's your thinking time.
Listen to a podcast.
Listen to this podcast.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
I think
bring back the toilet time.
So, because I think about when I had both 2 of my stoma surgeries, I still had part of my large bowel in and I still my rectum. And I got diversion colitis. The only way to stop that 9 times out of 10 is to have a reversal. Reversal isn't an option for me. Not pleasant at all.
I reckon you should be a case study for the first bionic bum.
Bionic bottom.
Robotics.
They do. I've seen.
I think you should make a case.
But I mean, the biggest thing really with all this though has been like being connected to a lot of people like yourselves. And I think this is where, for me, I know you've spoken a lot like, you know, oh, your content's great. It's not really about that.
Oh, don't
for me.
Be so.
No. I mean it in the sense of I then get to meet people like you. So if I have any questions, I can chat very openly with you guys about it. Yeah. And that I didn't have that, like, you know.
Well, 18-year-old aunt, I wonder how it would have.
No, would have no idea about it.
Yeah.
Do you see what I mean? And there's loads of people that, when you sit in hospital, and you've all had your surgeries, when you're sitting, waiting in that bed, you're like, I feel like one of the most, I don't know what's going to happen next.
Yeah.
Because they do say to you, I had mine was keyhole, and they said, but once we get in there, we don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, so I could come out of the scar like that, or...
Yeah, and they put the dots on. I don't know about you guys, but they were like, right, we'll try and do it on the one side, but we'll put one because it might be... So you're waking up thinking, ooh, what one am I going to get?
The thing is, I was joking with my brother about it before I went in. He was like, how are you feeling? He was like, great. You know, just hope... He said, anything can happen. And he was like, my brother was like, yeah. I was like, hopefully I don't wake up with any plastic boobs or anything like that.
I know, well, hey, for that would be a bonus for us, but yeah.
I know with me, I had a cross on either side, and it wasn't until they went in and they was like, yeah, your small bowels are dead to the abdominal wall. We can't stretch to the right. There's not enough.
Yeah,
left side is.
Yeah.
But again, this is the point. You may sit there and going, oh my God, I can't speak to anyone about this. I'm not etc. Then you connect to someone and go, I had the same issue.
Yeah.
Or, not that people have it worse, but they said, I've had this, and this. So I completely get where you're coming from, and that's why it's so useful to talk to people about this.
And what's beautiful about it is no one's story is the same, but then we can always connect on something, and that's what's lush about it all, isn't it?
100%.
Yeah, because I remember Ostomy Jack. I was doing a podcast with him.
Oh, Jack!
And
Jackie boy.
I was going back through my messages, and I was like, oh, I actually spoke to you when you first had your surgery, and I just totally forgot.
Yeah, we did I think we did a quiz,
Jack.
and he was in, I want to say Devon or Exeter or something. And I started speaking to him because he was stuck in hospital because he was having similar sort of post-op complications. And I was like, well, we're all on Zoom. Do you fancy coming on and doing a silly quiz or something like that? So, yeah. And that's when I started connecting with loads of people around the country. And Jessica always jokes, she goes, these your ostomates? And I'm like, yes, because we've all got, poo bags and stuff like this.
I've always wondered where the term ostomates, where that has come from.
Don't know.
Oh my God, is that what it means?
That's how I've seen it. I mean, we're mates, so I've always used it that way round.
Is that what it means? Who made this word?
Yeah, can anybody come back to us and tell us where the term ostomates come from?
Please comment below.
Yeah, well,
because like stoma.
They're Googling.
Oh, I love it.
For the viewer, we now have the people in the know Googling. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's, I've met virtually so many people that you end up knowing so much about.
Well, the ambassadors, so we're all ambassadors together, and those events, oh God, yes. Cheers to all you ambassadors out there, yeah. Woo woo.
Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I mean, I always leave those events euphoric. I think the first one, I literally was that high on life from meeting you all. I went to find a tattoo shop and get a tattoo.
What did you get?
I don't have any tattoos. None were open, thank God. But I tell you what, if they were open, I would have come away with something shocking and hideous.
I'll have to start.
And I probably got an infection because they were open.
Doing a clipboard on my back and doing the dates with all the meetups until I get to
like when you're in prison and you're ticking off the days. But
no, I don't know when I've been in prison. No, tell me more. Is this the dark side of the podcast that we're going to talk about another time?
After hours
or behind bars.
How have you kind of found adapting to gym life and running the London Marathon and everything with a stoma and a stoma that prolapses? How have you adapted? And
do you know what? It's the one thing that I did say before surgery was if I can't do my fitness, if I can't run, I can't do it. I don't want it. I will put up with all the drugs. I'll do everything because that was such a big part of my life, playing rugby, running, whatever. And they said, no, you can do all of it. Just you need to build up your abdominal strength. Which was fine, easy, and then take it easy. Like start slow, literally crawl, walk, run, and then just. When I go running, I've got a support band that I put around my stoma. Keeps everything in. I got measured actually for the first time the other day. A lady came round, Colette, if you're listening. So yeah, Colette came round and measured me, and I was always getting stuff from like the internet or. Places like Comfys and things like that, and there are other, stoma providers available. But they literally said, are you small or medium? And you just get it on your prescription.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff, I was like, I'll wear this, but it doesn't, I don't know if it's working. And when she came around, she said, no, you need to have it properly measured. You have to have everything sorted so your stoma isn't moving, your bag's not moving, it's stuck there. And since I've got like the belt and the other things that I've now got, it's great. But you need to really understand and prepare, what you need. Some people will do everything without a belt or without any hernia support or anything like that. And I could do that, but I just kind of choose not to because it's more that element of comfort mentally, I would say.
Security in there.
Yeah.
I think the difference is, so all the surgeries that I have had, when I had my reversal, I woke up with a corset to hold everything in place. When I had my stoma in 2016, I woke up again. They put me in a corset before I left hospital. Once I'd had the bridge taken out, I had a corset. And you are advised, it's all well and great wearing support belts and having things sort of tucking you in, but I always find that they're quite restrictive. And especially with some support belts, it's kind of a case of you've got the support there, but you've also got that feeling like you've been kind of whacked into spandex, whereas the belts are completely different. So if they give you the corsets or they give you a belt, it's made to measure, it's made for your size.
They did give me a corset, but I said that's for my Fridays, to be fair. So. But no, I mean, because you do like, gym work and stuff like that as well. Like, what's it like with yours?
I, to be honest, I find, well, I don't know about you, but when I do exercise, I get boiling. I get hot.
Yeah.
I get unbelievably hot. And I never used to get like that before my stoma surgery, and I don't know why. Yeah. I don't know if that's a common theme. But I just feel like my head gets so hot, my head is going to explode. And then if I've got a belt on, it just makes me feel even worse. So I try and go when I can without one. But again, the security of having one on, you can't beat it. But yeah, I would much rather wear I've never had a made to measure belt.
I'd recommend it.
But I wear waistbands.
Yeah.
But again, I like the spandex feeling.
Yeah.
I like being cinched in.
Yeah.
Are Supportex covered under prescription, or is it something like...
Yes. And I think that's the thing, because when we were talking all about it, I've got a lot of stuff on prescription, and we were sort of saying, like, that's not going to do anything for you. You need something properly measured for you, for your needs. Because I'll do a lot of heavy lifting in the gym. She's like, no, you need this. You know, you can all be fine.
You've been given professional advice
100%.
about a company that actually knows what we're on about.
Exactly.
You haven't gone on a website and gone, Alex, or I'm probably medium,
that one.
boom.
Yeah, and then gone, that should help. Because that's the risk as well, is there's still an educational piece around that. Because a lot of people will go, well, I don't really know who to go to. Someone.
And they're so
I've seen that
expensive. If you don't know they're on prescription, you can
like
spend
£70,
£80.
Yeah, but just to add a caveat, not everybody will be able to get that on prescription
100%,
because dependent on
it's
the area that you're living in or your GP's budget. Not everyone will be able to get support belts on prescription. It's same as everybody. You can get Stoma knickers on prescription, but not everybody can, and they have to pay for them.
Yeah.
So it's a case of you either can or you can't. There's no... I mean, you can try and argue it.
I mean, it's where children are concerned. So I've got a little boy who's 7 with a stoma, and
who's here today?
Who's
little man
here
over
today,
there.
little man?
Give us a wave, Jakey boy.
So he's been wearing a waistband since he was... How old were you, bud?
It's soundproof glass.
Probably since he was about 3.
Yeah.
And obviously kids are growing very fast. So what a lot of people don't realise is if you've got a child and they qualify for it on prescription, you don't need to wait a whole year to get another set in a bigger size. What I do is as soon as they are too tight for him and he looks uncomfortable, I'll get on the phone and go, right, please can I have the next size up because he's growing and he's whatever. Like, yeah, absolutely. And there's never a problem. But again, you wouldn't know that for sure. So... Yeah.
That's good.
So what would you say has been your greatest moments with a stoma? The marathon must be up there.
Yeah, 100%. That was
your
brilliant.
face in those clips. And seeing Jess in the crowd.
No, it was great. Yeah, definitely. That's even if you don't have a stoma, I think completing a marathon is great.
Yeah.
Apparently, all in the 1% of all people that have in the world. And
well, it's hard to get on it for starters.
Yeah.
I mean,
Really
for those
difficult.
of you that don't know, you don't just get to, I'm going to do it, and you get on, and that's it. It can take years to get it.
Ages. Well, I fortunately was given a place through a charity.
Which charity was
Guts UK.
that?
They said, we've got a place. Do you want it? I said, yeah, bite your hand off to do it.
Oh, brilliant.
And then, a lot of it is the training. Like, great marathon. The day is amazing. I would recommend it so much. Honestly, it's. You said you meet up with ambassadors and stuff like that, and you want to get a tattoo. When I finished the marathon,
What did you want to get?
I was like, oh my god, I'll do it again. I'll do it again. Great. I even ran off to a pub, and my mate's like, "What are you doing? Why are you still running?"
The adrenaline is insane. I mean, I've only done a
crazy.
half one, and I'm training for one in October coming up now. But yeah, it's you can't beat it, can you?
No, you really can't. But yeah, all the training, that's the hard part because it's always in the winter. It's freezing cold and you're like, right, what am I going to do on Saturday morning? I've got to run for 2.5 hours over there and then come back.
How much did you raise?
I raised over, I think, £2,250, something like that.
Incredible.
Something like that. Yeah,
That's
I mean,
amazing.
Fortunately, lots of people are very, very overly generous. Like,
Well, it's not to be done easily, is it? I mean,
No.
my gosh,
yeah.
I couldn't do it.
But then the day, like, you turn up, you get to Blackheath, you stand there, you wait for your little time slot. And when I wrote, they said, how long are you going to do it in? I was like, I don't know, 4.5 hours. All my friends who've done marathon said, treat the first one as a fun run. Just enjoy it. Because if you go, right, I want to do it in 3.5 hours or whatever, you'll be so focused on a time that you're going to get so exhausted that when you get to the end, just run and enjoy it. Just like literally have the atmosphere and all that. So on the day, had my stoma belt on, had a...
Did you have your flange extenders on?
No, I didn't know. Didn't know.
So how did your bag feel?
Fine.
after it compared to the start?
Fine. Yeah. I mean, a lot of the time when you are running, if the bag moves a lot, that's when you can get some blood in your bag and stuff like that. But that's nothing to worry about because your stoma's got a lot of capillaries in it. But yeah, I had my little bum bag with all my like gels in and sweets and stuff like that. But the whole course was just lined with people, and there's no greater feeling than if you're doing an event like that and so many people are cheering you on, because I had my name and I was like, come on, Anne.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good. There's people going, do you want a beer? Finish the race. And you're like, thanks, mate. There was one guy that I have to give a special shout out to, Jono, wherever you are listening. When I got over Tower Bridge, which was halfway, someone started like grabbing me, but I was like, what the hell's going on? There was a guy who was running for Crohn's colitis, and he was like, Anne, it's you, oh my God. And I was like, what is it? Who are you? And he was like, I follow you, all these things, you do amazing stuff, all these sorts of things. And I was like, what? Cried. And then I was like, honestly, thank you so much. Like, we got a photo, selfie, carried on running. And then the amount of people you run past who are also like either Crohn's colitis sufferers or who knew of me were like, I follow you. And I was like,
that's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not
that you needed any more encouragement.
No. Honestly, it was crazy. I mean, I'm not a celebrity, but I imagine that's how celebrities would feel if they're in public. Look, it's you.
Oh, of course you are.
Honestly, it was crazy. But that in itself is one of the real highlights. And I will say as well, I'm not saying this because I'm on this podcast, it's actually being an ambassador for such an incredible brand and everything with Eakin and Pelican and Respond, because when I started this, it was all about how can I raise awareness, and this is kind of the cherry on top to say you're doing this and you're promoting a lot of products, advice, and I get to then connect with even more people. And I think for me that's, when I was invited to do all the testing at the start, like, this is a new bag we're going to bring out. And I was like, oh, this is incredible. Like,
it's important to remember as well, like, we're not promoting just anything. We only promote what we use.
100%. And I'm not a believer. It's not like we're being
sent all these products in the post and gone, can you please post about this?
Yeah. Unless you want to send us to Monaco or somewhere like that.
Yeah. I mean, the next ambassador meetup, unless it's in somewhere like that, I ain't going.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeremy. Appreciate it. But yeah, I think, I'm sure there's several other like achievements with a stoma, but I think just being happy and healthy. That should be an achievement in itself, like not having what you had before. Yeah. Do you see what I mean? And that doesn't get sort of praised enough.
It doesn't, no. I mean, what advice would you give to someone who is struggling to accept their stoma?
If I'm honest, if you are on social media or whatever, just start reaching out to people. You'll feel free to reach out to any of us here, like if you guys are more than happy to, but just start talking to people, because you're not the only person feeling that way. It can be very isolating and you can feel very, very alone. But as soon as you start talking to people about it and you start seeing people promoting their bodies or saying, this is my bag or whatever, you then will, at least you'll start to see it and be like, okay, it's not that bad. And that's all that I've tried to do, is say, it's not as bad as you think. It's like anything. If you try something new for the first time and you're unsure about it, if you start speaking to people about it, your fears will be exactly what the same that someone else already gone through.
I mean, reaching out to people on social media is great. You're always going to have 3 or 4 sides of the coin. So those that are absolutely great and amazing, those that are really, really bad and this is the worst thing I could have ever done. Yeah. Then you've got those that are open and honest and just post good and bad. And then you've just kind of got the in-between where people say that they've got a stoma bag, but they don't like posting. They don't want to show, which is absolutely fine. 100%. But that there is still that taboo.
But there always will be, though, because you're pooing into a bag.
Yeah, but the whole
people
point...
don't like talking about pooing. Yeah. Then you're pooing in a bag.
Yeah, but isn't the whole point of what we're doing to raise awareness and 100%. To try and get rid of that taboo?
It'll always be there, though. It'll always be there. Yeah. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, keep flying the poo bag flag, and doing what we need to do.
Poo bag flag. Ooh, I like that.
These could be the colours.
Yeah.
See, I thought about this clearly.
That could be for the Christmas party.
Poo bag flags.
That can be the slogan.
Ben said to me the other day, it's something about my party trick with the stuff that's coming out of my stomach, because obviously some of the veg that we eat still comes out, and I'm like, no, that's just going a bit far.
I mean, who anyone that says they haven't swung their bag round Have you not done that?
My bag's not that big.
Well, no, it's mine, but like, surely it's a little bit of a party trick.
No, I'll just sort of dance, it'll flap around a bit. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I can't do that. My output's like liquid, and
I can imagine.
There will be times, so everything goes through me quite quickly. So there'll be times where, of a night time, I'm just running about in like a big baggy t-shirt, my knickers, and my bag out, and I'll go to stand up, and all you can hear, you know, like when you slosh a water bottle. Yeah. That's what it sounds like, and I can just see Ben going.
Me and Jake, actually, if we like full of air, we kind of like to check the acoustics of our bag.
Nice.
And we'll use it as an instrument, so we'll be like hopping along.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful.
That's the only thing that
Don't want to do that first thing in the morning.
That's the only thing, though.
It's beautiful. It really is, honestly. It's quite wonderful. You can't get that on a guitar.
Just imagine tapping that first thing in the morning when it's that
yeah,
blown
that's
up.
what I was about to say. It's like in the middle of the night, you're like,
it gives a different meaning to the word tap that, doesn't it?
Tap that, yeah.
Tap that.
Yeah, no, you're right. I guess it does.
Tap that or slap that?
Well, smack that.
Either way.
Smack that. But that's not what we're on about, is it? Really? Again, that's the after hours episode.
There's a watershed somewhere. This has to be broadcast after 9 p.m.
That's always a really good note to end on. Always end it on a bit of humour rather than a bit of sadness.
Smack that stoma. Yeah.
No, don't do that. No, don't.
Pop that.
There's no nerve endings on it, but don't do that. Unless that's something that you like, I don't mind.
Let's be clear.
Whenever my bag does balloon, I always think of the Arctic Monkey song, Up, Up and Away.
Oh, right, yeah.
You start doing that, it's like, sorry everyone, I'm just floating away.
Do you not find, though, that when your bag does blow up like that and you do try to get out of bed,
it's impossible.
You do that walk?
You have to turn yourself into some sort of contortionist to be like, I need to do this without it exploding.
Half human, half crab.
Yeah.
Or
just sort of go like that.
Do you ever get it where, like, so I find if I'm eating later at the moment for some reason, much later than I used to, so I'm having to get up in the night to empty, which I never really had to do. But I'll wake up in the night, realise my bag's really full and think, oh, has it popped? Oh, has it, because you just...
But then you have the bargaining going, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I can get another half hour, I reckon. And you're like that. And then you wake up going, oh, no, I should have just gone.
I think I remember your argument for getting 100% Egyptian cotton sheets on prescription and two new duvets a year.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I try and get as much as you can, but
Anyway, I think we'll wrap that up there. So, Ant's petition: 100% Egyptian cotton sheets on prescription.
They don't have to be Egyptian cotton. Just come and get some free bedding.
I'm sure some of your status could scab some free bedding.
Yeah, well, yeah. As long as it's clean. I don't want old bedding. Or used bedding.
So we'd like to thank you for listening to Beyond the Pouch. We hope you have enjoyed listening and took away some valuable moments from our guest on World Ostomy Day.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you so much. It's
pleasure,
always been a pleasure.
Yeah.
And we'd love to know your greatest moments, and we'll see you again next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. See you soon.